All right, so we've got a 2007 Toyota Highlander. We're gonna be doing the front brakes on it today. The steps you're gonna want to take is to loosen the lug nuts on here just slightly. Use a jack it up. There's my jacking point right there. Get the tire off the ground, remove the tire, and I'll show you from there.
Oh my.
Okay, now that you got your tire removed, you're gonna want to sit on it, because if you're poor like me, you don't have a stool to sit on, so use your tire. All right, so the only tools you're gonna need are your ratchet, 14mm socket. You're gonna want a C-clamp, and of course some brake lube.
Okay.
You can see there. And then that's really about it. Super simple. I've got an old brake pad to hold some paper towels, a screwdriver, flathead, just to help you pry off these little clips that are right here, just in case they're stuck. And the only things you need to do is loosen this bolt here, this bolt down here. You can see them both there. Loosen those, remove them, and then we'll go from there. Get the old 1-2. One. And 2. And then wiggle the caliper off there. Now you don't want it to be dangling on the brake line. So what I do is I just stick it up here and just rest it right on top of the rotor. Get a good balance there. And now we can access the brake pads. You can see them here. Inner and an outer. Now these ones aren't terrible, but the passenger side was starting to scrape a little bit on the wear indicator. You can kind of see there. There's a little metal tab. So when your brake line or your brake pads get worn down enough, the rotor will actually scrape this little tab and make an awful squealing noise. But it'll do it before you run out of pad as a little safety precaution. So I'm just kind of doing mine as a maintenance. Do it before I definitely need it. Since this is my wife's car, kind of want to be safe. And the passenger side was making a little bit of noise, so I just want to get rid of that, because we do haul a trailer with our RZR on it and everything like that too. So along with safety and, well, along with getting rid of the annoyance, getting a little bit safer, making sure we don't, you know, run into any issues hauling that trailer around. So these are the little metal clips that you want to remove. They kind of sit down here on these little grooves down here. You can see a groove there, and identical to the other side. Just kind of rest in there, pop them off. There's one up top, one on the bottom. Remove those, and there we go. I'll show you the new pads. All right, don't mind the wind. Hopefully you guys can't hear it too much. But here's an old pad. Kind of see it here. It'll focus in there. Wearing down pretty thin versus the new pad. Check that out. Much more meat. See if I can do a little side by side here. Look at that. A lot more meat on that thing. So you can tell the new pad actually does not have the wear indicator on it, but they did, however, come with one attached and attached. There you go. They came with a wear indicator there. So what you're going to need to do is pop that onto the new brake pad. Now you can see the little notches, because these pads can go in or out, or it doesn't really matter. But I'm just going to match it to that old pad there and put the wear indicator exactly how it was. So I'm going to get that pushed on there, and then I'll go from there. Alright, so here we've got the new wear indicator put on that pad, matching that exact one. And now, here are the old clips. They were combined together. That's how they've always been in the past. Now, they're actually selling them individually, like that. And so then you just got to put one on each side, but they are no longer connected to one another. And on top of that, they've actually stuck a little rubber coating on there. Kind of hard to see, but they put a little rubber coating on there, and that helps it from squealing. Kind of helps dampen the noise a little bit, ideally. I mean, that's the idea behind these kinds of things, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out the groove that it sits on, you know, front, back, upper and lower, both on all sides. Clean that up a little bit, and then I'm going to stick these down in here, and then I'm going to put a little bit of dab of that brake grease on there to kind of help the pads slide in and out as needed. So I'm going to set you down and get going on that. Alright, here you go. So now we've got those little shims in there, upper, lower, front and back. What I'm going to do now is take some of this brake pad lubricant.
Okay.
Extreme silicone stiff. Stick that on there. Now be sure not to hit your rotor with it. You want to keep that grease free 100%. And then just rub a little bit of grease on there. Or if it helps you, you can actually rub the grease on these tabs where the brake pads are going to be riding. And on top of it, I like to take these pins out, clean that old grease off of them, move those boots a little bit, and I'd pull them completely out, wipe down the pins, and reapply the grease. That way you've got fresh grease on there, and you know everything's good to go. There's no questions asked. So let's do that. Nice and clean. Apply a whole bunch of new grease. So that pin can slide in and out, and the caliper and the pads can move just like they need to. There you go. Popped it back on. Now we'll do the upper one. Whole bunch of new grease on there. Slide that in. Like that, you'll hear a little pop. The boot's connected and everything like that. And then the next step we want to do, where you're going to need your C-clamp, is we're going to compress the brake piston back into itself. That way it will open up and allow enough room for the new pads, because the new pads are going to be much thicker. So this is set to where how thin the old pads were. We're going to need to compress it out so it can fit over the new pads. So let me get compressing that and we'll get there. You want to go slow. You don't want to compress it too quickly because it's going to rush all the brake fluid back up to the master cylinder. You don't want that shooting up there super fast. So you're going to just compress it nice and slow and make sure that fluid slowly fills back up to the reservoir and doesn't spill out the cap. You're almost going to need to go all the way in, and we'll see. We'll kind of stop there and see how that does. Back this back off. Pull the clamp out, and then from there we'll grease those up and or grease them up on here in the pads, slide them on in there, and then we'll try to get that caliper over there. Now, remember when you're tightening down your wheels, you're going to want to go every other. So if you start here, you want to go skip one, skip one, skip one, skip one. Now on these Highlanders, torque spec is 80 foot-pounds, but I like to do about 85-90 just to be safe. So let's tighten these suckers down. And then I like to go back around just to make sure. As easy as that. Drop her to the ground, go for a test drive, tighten these back up out after 25 miles, make sure they're good. Check your brake fluid levels, make sure you didn't lose any while adding pads or anything like that. That way you got good pedal pressure, and go have some fun. See you guys next time.